Yo, what is popping, guys? We are back on Pokemon Showdown today for NPL Week 4. We are facing Adam and his Houston Solrockets. Changed his team name this season from the Kansas City Kakunas, which he was in Season 2 and 3 of the NPL. We have played quite often. We played in the PMC D League back in the day, and obviously in all the NPL seasons he has been part of. And he's undefeated this season. He started the league 3-0, which is pretty solid. He had some nice battles. It was a pretty threatening team. I'm surprised by what he brought, but I will cover my team first before we hop into team matchup. I don't want to do a what's called a team builder this week because I've been sick all week. Don't really feel well, but we also have a chance to play again in playoffs, so I don't want to reveal all my sets because like maybe I want to bring something similar in playoffs or a sim. So I brought a Fist Death, Raindance, Toxic Scald, Rest, Manaphy, which was basically my answer to his Zyga 50%, which for whatever reason he didn't bring. He told me he didn't want to bring his best team because he's because he's trying to save his squad for or his best squad for the playoffs, which I understand because he started 3-0, so why not try and get a win with a meme team or something. I brought SD Zard X because my opponent's team, as you can see, is pretty slow. If he doesn't bring a Scarfer, I basically outspeed his entire team, which is cool. A Toxic Reuniclus with Psychic, HPIs, and Recover, obviously HPIs, just to make sure that Zygarde doesn't set up in my face. Pretty standard Fortress, also with HPIs and some special attack investment, obviously with Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin. Scarf Gren, just as a check to Scarf Bulu, to Dragon Dance Zygarde, as a check to Scarf Rotom, as a check to an Adamant Adamant or Modest Shell Smash Cloyster, just making sure that I'm never getting swept by those kind of mons. And it's basically guaranteed to be the fastest mon on the field, which is cool. And a speedy but physically defensive Togekiss with Encore, Softball, Dazzling Gleam, and Air Slash. Checks a lot of his threats really well. It's a decent backup answer to Bulu in case Fortress or Zard go down. Can take some hits if need be. And yeah, that's the squad. Looking at my opponent's team, he brought a team that I didn't really expect, obviously, but as I said, he told me he wanted to bring memes before we start the battle, so let's see where it's coming from. Brings a Cloyster, which could be a lot of stuff. Could be Scarf, obviously, could be a Hazard Lead, which actually would have made quite some sense versus my team, especially looking at that I bring Fortress because he has a spin blocker and obviously Fortress creams Rapid Spin and non-default Togekiss obviously on this kind of team. So Hazard Lead obviously would have been an option. Shell Smash obviously very solid too, but also stuff like King's Rock or Choice Band would definitely a chance to come. Cloyster, not Cloyster, Golbat here, I was pretty sure was especially defensive because it checks Manaphy really well. I can't really 2KO that thing, unless I'm very heavily invested with the Ice Beam and have rocks up and shit like that, but it checks it fairly well. It's also a solid check to Togekiss and Greninja as well as stuff like Superior, which I obviously didn't bring. Torkoal could have been a lot of stuff. Obviously a drought setup, but what I expected, looking at this team, would be a more defensive set to back up check Charizard X because Thunder Punch's art would actually just shit on my Milotic, which looks to be his initial switching, but Torkoal can potentially at least take hits from Zard and chip it down with some attacks like Earth Power or something. Bulu here could have been sub bulk up, which I was kind of afraid of, or sub seed. That's why I packed a lot of coverage on my squad to never allow to get up a free sub basically. Could also be Bandit, which obviously is a very good set, even though it's so simple. With the Wood Hammer, I just fucks shit up. Rotom, I really felt like Rotom was guaranteed Scarfer because it checks Greninja as well as Manaphy, can revenge skill stuff like a weakened Togekiss or something. So I felt like Scarf Rotom definitely is the best set just to make sure it doesn't get swept by Manaphy once stuff like Golbat or Scarf Bulu, for example, go down. melodic here, probably like physically defensive, with like haste or dragon tail. Scald obviously recover. I don't know what else. Maybe toxic to like put Zard X on the timer so I can't set up in his face. But yeah, we'll see about that. So I decided to lead off with my Zard. Looking at this team, like Zard X is a very, very big win condition, but it's also a very solid check to stuff like Rotom, as well as like a special attacking Eruption Torkoal or something, as well as Tapu Bulu obviously. So I definitely wanted to be Mega Evolved and like be able to roost up on a lot of stuff, to always be healthy, to take some hits. So he gets off with his Rotom, and I take this as an opportunity to scout for the Scarf and like see what his initial switching is if he isn't Scarf. So I decided to go for the Roost turn one. I could have like potentially SD'd up on turn one because like he doesn't have like the greatest initial switching, but I felt like I didn't want to reveal my set too early, so I decided to go for the safe Roost and scout like for a Scarf and for his initial switching. So I go for the Roost, I see Volt switches, revealing turn one that he is Scarf, which is very solid, very good to know. He's also timid Scarf, gauging from damage, and he goes into Torkoal. So as I roost up, Torkoal seems to be like his either his initial switching or a mon that wants to like maybe a Shell Smash sweeper that wants to hit Zard with an Earth Power on the next turn, but obviously it's pretty slow, so I didn't really expect Shell Smash to come. But I want to cover all options, which are basically Earth Power, which I can tank, a Shell Smash, and Stealth Rock. So I decided to go into my Greninja here because I outspeed every Shell Smash variant of Torkoal naturally, which means I don't have to reveal my Scarf either way. I can take an Eruption, I can take an Earthbound, I obviously can come in on the potential Stealth Rocks, which now that like looking at his team, unless he has like a defensive Cloyster, like maybe physically defensive Cloyster with Stealth Rocks, Torkoal seems to be his rocker. So I go into my Greninja trying to keep the offensive pressure up, as my opponent actually goes for the Stealth Rock here, which is fine with me. Doesn't really matter. I just go for the U-turn, thinking he doesn't want to let it get weakened, and like because Hydro Pump just knocks out any form of Torkoal unless he's Partial Berry or Assault Vest. So yeah, I felt like U-turn was the safest play, especially when I have like pretty safe switch-ins in the bag, especially considering that he wasn't a drought set because like then he can't Solar Beam Manaphy on a potential switch-in. So my Melodic comes in on the U-turn, I get some nice chip off, but like obviously if he's lefty, so he will negate that. But that gives me an opportunity to go into my Reuniclus and fire off a Toxic here. I contemplated going for a Psychic here directly because Bulu seems like a decent switch in if he's like a bulky variant, because then like he always can come in on my Calm Minds and like fuck me up with a Wood Hammer or something, if I'm a Calm Mindset obviously. But I decided to go for a Toxic as it covers my Melodic staying in, go for Dragon Tail or Haze potentially on my or Dragon Tail on my Calm Mind or something. It covers a Rotom coming in to fire off a Shadow Ball, it covers Bulu, Torkoal, like it also covers Cloyster and like Golbat like just is not a switch, and so pretty free Toxic here. As my opponent actually decides to go into his Cloyster. Cloyster, even if it's like max HP, Shell Smash or something, dies to a Psychic with my investment, so I'm pretty inclined to stay in here. I don't really want to go into Fortress on a potential like Icicle Spear, because then he can potentially knock me out with a Hydro Pump on the next turn or something. Like I don't really have the best answer as of right now. I don't want to go hard into Manaphy because then I'd have to stall him out and he can hit me with some pretty hard attacks, and like Rock Blast after Rock is a chance to 2-KO me if he gets the +2, so I don't really want to go hard into Manaphy. So I just fire off a Psychic here. So my opponent actually goes for the Icicle Spear, which reveals to be an Adamant Cloyster, and it does like 50%, which is nice. But he told me after that he was a King's Rock set and he didn't get flinched, so that's fortunate. Didn't really want to get flinched down there. got a bit of flinching Hex versus me last season when we played in like week 9 or something, where he flinched down my Cofagrius with the Soul Kiss. But yeah, this time I'm breaking through and I knock out the Cloyster, which is nice. It's definitely a mon that can take a hit potentially from an unboosted Zard, and like, could have done some sort of damage to me. So it's cool that he's out of the way. So Rotom comes in. I can live any hit from it, even the Shadow Ball. I'm just out of range of a Shadow Ball here, so I just decide to recover up, see what kind of set he is. I'm like especially defensive limitless, so Volt Switch seemed like a play he would make, and I can just recover up, like trying to see what he locks himself into, and then like go from there. He Volt Switches out into Bulu. Definitely a solid play, and here like, I'm like, yeah, he kind of has to Wood Hammer, especially if it's locked in variant. So I decided to like I had the decision: do I go into my Zard or do I go into my Fortress? First I was inclined to go into Zard, but with Rocks up, I didn't feel like that was the best decision. Like just because like I would just boost up and then like Melodic and Torkoal would come back in. I don't really gain initiative from that. So I decided to go into my Fortress and potentially get my rocks on this turn. So I switch out, go into my Fortress as my opponent actually makes a very nice prediction here on this turn and fires off an HP Fire. That's 62%, so it could be a like it looks like Jolly or Adamant because it didn't really do too much. I feel like Hasty or Native or something would have done a little bit more, or like Naughty or Lonely, whatever you like. So I feel like this is still Adamant and Jolly, and now I'm like thinking what kind of set he is. Like HP Fire basically makes it impossible for him to be sub bulk up. He could be Bandit, but or Scarf obviously, or Assault Vest. Like these are the three sets. Assault Vest was an option because he could could have gone on into Bulu after the Volt Switch in case I Psychic it there or something to shoot a hit. Like Psychic would have done like jack shit to an AV Bulu, and then like he would have gotten all the recovery back. So it's definitely an option. But I felt like he was more likely to be a Choice Scarf or Choice Band variant. I was thinking more to Choice Scarf because it can always come in and revenge the Tailglow Manaphy, just like the Rotom. Like Rotom misses out on the KO if I'm like bulky or something. So Scarf Bulu is a very solid check to a Tailglow Manaphy. So I felt like this Bulu is more than likely Scarf, and I felt like what do I do here now? I could like just go hard into my Charizard, but like and then set up a DD, but if he's AV and fires off like Stone Edge to knock me out and then hit my Zard, I'm in a bad spot. If he's Choice Scarf, there's no way he's staying in to get rid of my Fortress. He much rather will switch into Rotom to prevent me from spin blocking, and also like cover every option that wants to come in on the Hidden Power Fire, namely my Manaphy and my Greninja. If I'm really expecting him to be a Scarf set or a Bandit set. So I felt like there was no way he was staying in it. Even if he was staying in, I would get the free switch into my Charizard. I didn't want him to go hard into Rotom here to spin block me, so I didn't go for the spin. So I decided to go for the Stealth Rock here, as in my opinion it like covers all options. Like if he stays in and knocks me out, I get a free setup, and if he switches out, I get up rocks, which are huge versus this team, and I'm pretty sure I can prevent Torkoal from spinning if that's his hazard removal. So I go for the rocks here as my opponent decides to switch out this turn, revealing probably that he is locked in. I think that's a very solid play on my part, but definitely like pre-calculated because like rocks were just like the safest play possible in my opinion. Now Rotom comes in, I'm back up to 51%, and Rotom with the Volt Switch cannot knock me out, and I feel like Volt Switching is a very solid play on his part because it keeps up the momentum in case I want to save my Fortress, and like it like also doesn't give me the free setup with Charizard if I switch into Zard on the Thunderbolt. But so I decided to like either go into Zard or Fortress here. But I felt like if he Volt Switches, I get the Rapid Spin off, which would have been huge. Like even if he goes into Torkoal next turn, I can just spam Rapid Spin and go from there. Because like at some point he has to kill me, and I can go into Greninja or Manaphy to prevent the Stealth Rock on that turn. So I feel like the Rapid Spin was the safest play. If he Volt Switches, I get rid of the rocks, and if he Thunderbolts, I get a free setup with Zard. So he decides to Thunderbolt, knock out my Fortress. making sure that rocks stay up on my side of the field, which isn't too big of a deal. Yes, Zard and Togekiss don't really appreciate it, but I can always roost up on so much stuff. Like Zard roosts up on a locked-in Bulu that isn't locked into Stone Edge. It basically roosts up on everything else, and Togekiss roosts up on Milotic, roosts up on Golbat, roosts up on Torkoal, also on a locked-in Bulu potentially. So Rotom's in, locked into Thunderbolt. I decide to go for my Swords now. As my opponent goes into Torkoal here, I get to +2 and I will fire off a Dragon Claw here. If he's max HP but modest or something, I will knock him out. And if he's defensive, there's no way he can like even touch me in the slightest. So I go for Dragon Claw, and as you see, Dragon Claw does 51%. It means he's a max HP, max defense Torkoal. He goes for the Stone Edge, but misses. But like this Stone Edge miss doesn't really matter at all. I could have easily roosted up on the next turn to like get back to full. Like Stone Edge would have done 33 to 40% on my Zard because I'm max HP. So there was no way he was ever like beating me 1v1. I could have potentially gone to +6 if I played it correctly and didn't get crit or something. So yeah, Stone Edge miss didn't really matter besides forcing me to roost up. So basically that's it. So I go for another Dragon Claw here, knocking out the Torkoal, which wasn't too big of a threat to my team anyway. Bulu comes in, and now like I'm 100% sure there's a Scarf. He kind of has to go for the Stone Edge now. Like if he bluffs the Scarf here, then like he's a madman, and like then he probably will go for Wood Hammer just to stun on me or something. But I'm pretty sure he has Scarf, and he can't play around. Can't play around a +2 Zard with bluffing Scarf and then over predicting shit like that. So I go into my Greninja knowing that I can take a Stone Edge. I don't need Greninja, so even if he like crits me, knocks me out, I'm in a solid spot because then like Manaphy can come in, go for a Toxic or set up a Rain and set up a Scout, whatever I want to do. He missed another Stone Edge, but that would not have knocked me out even if he was an adamant Bulu, but yeah. So Gran is in. This time I don't really want to go for the U-turn because he could still like just say fuck it, fire off with Stone Edge, because the Scarf Greninja can't OHKO Bulu with the Ice Beam, and like U-turn would have been like a very ballsy play because then I didn't have the best switch into to a Scarf Bulu Stone Edge. Like obviously Manaphy and Reuniclus tank, but I don't want them to get too weakened. So just fire off the Ice Beam here. He makes the smart play and switches out into his Milotic here. He will take no damage from the Ice Beam, which probably like now reveals him that I'm Scarf because the damage is like absolute jack shit. Milotic gets his lefty's back, gets his Grass Drain back. Same with my Ninja, which is back to full. I have another free switch into my Reuniclus as he recovers up. I revealed Toxic here on my Reuniclus, so I felt like there was no way he was staying in here. So, but like I didn't lose anything by going for Toxic because like his best switch, and as he revealed earlier, was Tapu Bulu. Rotom doesn't want to get Toxic as it can't beat me 1v1 anyway, because if he Shadow Balls, I take like 56%, and then I have his free switch into my Greninja. So yeah, Bulu is the switch, and as I finally get a Toxic off on that thing, put it on a timer. Even with the Grass Terrain, can't do too much. So there's one turn of Grass Terrain left, which means he has one big Wood Hammer back in him. I really contemplated going into Zard here, but I think I go into my Togekiss on this turn. Just because I felt like there was no way he was Stone Edging in front of Reuniclus. He wanted to get rid of the Reuniclus, because the Reuniclus, if Bulu goes down, just wins basically, because it can potentially beat a Rotom 1v1. So Togekiss comes in, doesn't enjoy the Wood Hammer at all, but with the leftovers recovery and the Grass Terrain wearing off, I'm guaranteed out of range for another Wood Hammer. So Togekiss can just softball up here. I didn't peg Roost on it because I didn't want to lose my flying typing versus anything. unless like I'm for some reason faster than a Rotom, which like there was no way I would be. So I softball up here on this potential switch, which he will go for. Goes into Rotom, and again I could go like into my Reuniclus, but then he would like just volt switch out, go into Bulu, and then fire off another Wood Hammer or something, or trying to predict me going to go for the Stone Edge, and then like I would have been in a bad spot. So I decided to take the volt switch here potentially, and softball up like just to see what kind of damage he does. He does 59. I easily get that back with the softball and the leftovers recovery as he goes into his Golbat. Here I make kind of a misplay. I go for the Encore here just to see if he's faster than I am. And if he goes for like for Toxic or something, I can Encore him into that. If he goes for Defog, I can Encore him into that. If he goes for Roost, I can do that. But I forgot that I'm actually close to max speed totally, so now I outspeed this Golbat. So it hits me with the Super Fang, but it doesn't really matter. I can just softball up. On this next turn, I think I go for the Air Slash just to condition him into like either switching out or force him to roost up so that I can, like if I get the flinch, I force him to roost up or switch out basically because like if he goes for more Super Fangs, it doesn't really make sense because he can always roost up, and then like the moment he roosts up, I can like just encore him and then like have a free softball with my Togekiss. So on this turn I will go for the softball because even if he roosts up, I can encore him and whatever he wants to go into, I can like deal with. So Rotom comes in. I think on this turn I switch out into my Uniclus because I know I can take Thunderbolts and Voltages. Goes for the T-Bolt, that's 31%. I have a free Psychic here, I think. I think I go for that. As he goes into my lot again, I start spamming Psychic now. So I go for the Psychic here because I just want more damage off on the Rotom. It's a pretty annoying mon here because he can actually like potentially beat my Uniclus 1v1. And like I don't want to give the Bulu another free switch, so I start spamming Psychic here. My Lotta comes in. I contemplate going for Toxic here, but as I said, I don't want Bulu to get any more free switches because like it hits my team pretty hard. So I decided to go for another Psychic as my opponent recovers up. And a Toxic here that would have been great for me. That would have basically won me the game once I got rid of Bulu. But no reason to like get what's it called to get impatient and like start like making the aggressive play when I can just play it safely. So on this next turn, I really like. I felt like there was no way he risks me, or he risks my Melodic getting Toxic again. So I fire off another Psychic, trying to catch the Bulu on the incoming, on what he expects to be a Toxic, and like he goes into Bulu, gets the Grass Terrain back up, goes for the Psychic and lives sadly. With the Grass Terrain at the Toxic damage, he lives at 3%. Now I'm like he has one hit left in him. Can't switch out because I reckon like Golbat doesn't have defog, and yeah, the question is does he predict me and like to switch out and go for the Stone Edge, or does he go for the Wood Hammer? I decided to switch out into Zard as it like can tank any Wood Hammer and it can potentially live a Stone Edge. I think no, it can't because rocks up, but even if he goes for the Stone Edge and knocks me out, I basically don't need Zard anymore to win the game. Yes, it can SD up on Golbat and Milotic to knock them out, but Reuniclus basically wins the game on his own here, as long as I play around the Shadow Balls of from Rotom correctly. So I decided to go into my Zard, identifying Reuniclus as my win con here, as my opponent goes for the Wood Hammer. He gets a crit, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because thankfully I get back up to 26% with the Grass Terrain, which means I can come in once more on rocks. So that means if one mon on my side of the field goes down versus Golbat or Milotic, I can come in with Zard, roost up, and then like go from there. So that's kind of cool. Rotom comes in. I definitely will switch out into my Reuniclus here as my opponent goes for the Shadow Ball instead of the Thunderbolt. Definitely makes sense. Gets a special defense, but it does not matter. SCC does 58%. He was knocking me out anyway, but that gives me a free switch into my Greninja, knowing that he's locked into Shadow Ball. And Reuniclus is a nice amount of health. The Grass Terrain really comes in handy here for my team. So goes for another Shadow Ball. don't want to go for Dark Pulse because Melodic was his initial switch and all the time. So I go for the U-turn again, knowing that he needs Rotom alive, and I think he like at this point he knows that I'm Scarf, so there was no way he was risking Rotom to get Dark Pulse. I got to Manaphy on this Melodic. I don't want to like rinse repeat the process here with the Uniclus and like recover up toxic stuff, psychic stuff, blah blah blah. Just go into Manaphy, fire off a toxic here on this Melodic. As he recovers up, getting a toxic off on that thing is pretty important because like now it's on the time and now Uniclus beats it 1v1 guaranteed. So does basically Zardex. I go for the Randance here in case he wants to toxic me. Just for Scald gets burned, but obviously that does not matter because my hydration will save me from that. And now I can just fire off Scald, preventing any free switch ends into Golbat or Rotom. But yeah, he will go for Dragon Tail to Dragon Tail me out. He knows that he can't beat me 1v1, so much rather goes for the Dragon Tail here. Togekiss comes out, which is nice. I can just try to start flinching him down if he recovers up. Oh wait, if he recovers up, I can Encore him. And like I reviewed the Encore earlier, and he like the last move he was using was Dragon Tail, so I decided that Encore wasn't the play here, knowing that he probably wants to switch on that. Just fire off an Air Slash here which basically covers every switch in because I get some chip, and it can potentially flinch in my Melodic. And even if he recovers, I can just Encore on the next turn, so that's fine. Golbat is his sack of choice here, obviously, as Togekiss can knock it out with the with 2 Air Slashes after rocks, and things are looking pretty solid right now. I'm up 5-2, and now Rotom comes in. Rotom actually from the range I'm at cannot knock me out, even though I'm like only 4 HP or 20 HP and no speed F. Rotom is just too weak to knock out Togekiss because Togekiss is bulky as fuck. So I decide to go for Dazzling Gleam, knowing that I guaranteed knock him out. Even if he crits me with the Thunderbolt or Thunderbolt Paras, I can come in with Gran and go for the Dark Pulse. With the Toxic and the Stealth Rock, Melodic was in range for 2 Dark Pulse, so he was never able to switch out anyway, and then like I can just clean up with Dark Pulse. So Togekiss will go for the Dazzling Gleam here. I live the Thunderbolt, don't get Parrot or anything. Fire off the D-Gleam, and now Rotom is dead. Last one Melodic, which is Toxic. There's no way he can knock me out. I can just go for the Softball here, preserving the 5-0 because my differential was kind of bad. After the first 3 weeks, I think I'm +1 or something. But yeah, now I'm like guaranteed to beat Melodic. I go for an Air Slash here, just to like fasten up the process here of beating this Melodic. And he gets flinched, doesn't matter because he was losing 1v1 to my Togekiss anyway. And I go for the killing Dazzling Gleam, and this is gonna be GG. It is Aki. Adam, you were part of a great game. Just kidding, but yeah, it's a 5-0 victory for me. Definitely a very solid win versus an undefeated team. Puts me at 3-1 right now after 4 weeks, which I think is good for the division lead because Alpha lost. And he's 2-2 right now. And I think my differential is 1 point better than Travis, who's also 3-1, I think. So division lead is mine. Next week we are facing Nate and his Litchfield Park Lavitas. It's a very interesting team. Should be a fun battle. But yeah, we're in a good spot right now after losing week 2. We're back on the winning side of things, having won 2 in a row. This time very convincingly with the 5-0. So yeah, pretty hype game. GG to Adam. Got a very interesting squad. No way he's gonna bring this team in playoffs or is me. So I'm hyped to see what cooks up when we play in playoffs. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's it for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did, and yeah, catch you in my next video, I think. Yeah, see ya.